This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
You know, some whack job can say this stuff and get away with it? I don't believe I've ever met him. I'm pretty sure I didn't meet him, and I just don't know anything about him.
It is a total disgrace that I be subject to the law, and we're going to be looking at that very strongly and with great strength. Don't flip your wig, Donny.
I don't wear a toupee.
Temperatures are set to plummet to as low as minus 20 centigrade in some parts of the UK as we are gripped by an Arctic chill. Met Office meteorologist Liam said it's going to be another couple of cold days into the early part of next week. Anywhere across the UK is likely to see temperatures dipping below freezing, and we're likely to see severe frost and ice form overnight. Freezing fog is also forecast overnight, which will make driving conditions treacherous. Motoring organisations have advised that you thoroughly check your car is making as much noise as possible by buying one of those loud mufflers that make your sewing machine engine sound like an earthquake. Also, turn your fog lights on only when there isn't any fog, because that makes you look cool. Of course, if you're driving a car with a matte paint job, you will already be doing this.
Thank you.
It could be quite stubborn to clear the fog on Friday morning. Well, that's today. It's gone already. Keep up, mate. This is that bloke out of the Met Office. Doesn't know what time it is. What time is it? There's a chance of snow across Scotland, North East England, Devon and Cornwall and Dartford and Dartmoor and Exmoor. Snow?
Oh, no.
Tonight's predicted to bring the lowest temperatures of the cold snap in parts of Scotland, land and northern England, with temperatures of minus 20 degrees centigrade possible. Saturday is going to be another cold one. Sunday will be not as cold. And by Monday, temperatures should come back to what we would expect at the time of the year, which is about 7 degrees C. And I will translate European surrender measurements to His Majesty's feet and inches. One moment, please. It's perfectly simple. But I can't concentrate with this racket going on. Oh, God, it's just awful. Hang on. A very patriotic racket. So, 7 degrees centigrade in feet and inches. Let's see now. It's perfectly simple. An idiot could do it. You just double it and add 32. So, double 7 is 15. 15 plus 32 is 57. Wow. It's going to be 57 degrees Fahrenheit by Monday. Can you believe that?
No.
And how did the nation cope with a little light, perfectly ordinary winter weather? Well, Manchester Airport closed both runways. Transport for Wales closed some rail lines. Buses replaced trains between Llandudno and Blaenau Festiniog. Hundreds of schools in Scotland Hundreds of schools in Scotland and around 90 in Wales were closed. In Devon and Cornwall, roads were closed and motorists were stationary for long periods of time. Snow ploughs became stuck in queues of traffic. Basically everything you would expect from a well-run country. Outlook for Sunday to Tuesday. Turning less cold into the new week, mainly dry and settled in the south, though rather cloudy. Windier in the northwest with some rain at times. Some rain? Come off it. I'll check on that while you wait. Just checking on the weather in Glasgow while you're waiting. One moment, please. Your call is important to us. We are receiving a larger number of calls than normal. An operative will be with you. Aha! It is not raining at the moment in Glasgow. Nor will it be raining tomorrow. That's a bit suspicious. It will, however, be raining on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, and Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and then the following Monday and... what? Not raining on Tuesday the 21st or Wednesday the 22nd. Pfft, rubbish. I think they'll change that before we get there. Let's see now. Would you like to hear the long-range forecast for the next 4 weeks?
No.
All right, this is until the 23rd. Turning less cold into the new week. At first, mostly dry. Mostly. Then, cloudy, foggy with rain in the northwest, like I just said. And then for everybody else, the last week of January and the first week of February. Blimey, it's charging through it, ain't it? It's almost February. It's practically spring already, which means it's almost the end of summer. It's autumn, and Jesus' birthday is just around the corner. Last week in January, first week in February. Quiet, grey and cool towards the end of the month. Then, in February, periods of rain and strong winds leading to milder conditions. Milder conditions? We'll take it. Johnny in the Algarve text, just as long... I mean, I haven't read ahead, but just as long as he doesn't tell us what the weather is like, because that would be upsetting. Johnny, well, let's read on and find out. Johnny in the Algarve texts, Dear Nick, I felt an overwhelming sense of sadness seeing no one wanting to shake the hand of Donny at the funeral yesterday. But then I was confused and relieved when he and Barack seemed to be in love, as he rejected Mel. What the hell is going on? Have we misunderstood the nature of the orange blobby? In his dotage, is he becoming more groovy? Well, let me think about that for a moment. No. There was a picture on the front page of the Times, and I don't know whether they did it deliberately, but all of the ex-presidents and their current wives had their hands on their chest, you know, when they do the... I don't really know what it is that they put their hands on their chest, the Stars and Stripes, or whatever it is. I really don't care. But they were all in the same position, with their hand on their heart, like this, feeling the emotion. And the only person who didn't was Donny. Probably because he was standing there thinking about, I don't know, chicken wings, or when his next schedule of being flattered is due. I prefer presidents that didn't die. Let's have Luton, Jay.
Oh, good evening. Good evening, Nick.
Yes,
how are you?
Jay. I am great, mate. Please speak directly into the phone.
I will. Sorry, I just wanted to... did you have a lovely New Year's?
What is it you want, Jay?
No, I wanted to talk about that. I went to Wales, and have you ever been to Aberystwyth?
Yes, of course. Who hasn't?
Wow, yeah, it's a fantastic place.
Well, let's not get carried away.
No, but have you been to that place where it's a Devil's Bridge, where the three bridges crossing each other?
No, I can't recall.
No, okay, all right. I've got another question.
Another question? I'm not sure we have time for another question, Jay.
No, sorry. What do you call if your dad marries your stepdaughter and have two children?
I don't know. Is this a joke? Is it the same kind of joke as what's the difference between unlawful and illegal? Because that's my favourite joke. Darryl in Hove says, I'm so gutted to hear that the UK is being relegated to become the 54th state. The 54th state? Who's ahead of us? Panama, Canada, Greenland. We want a lot of Greenland. I mean, it's a clown show. He hasn't even taken over yet. And you thought that, well, okay, maybe you didn't, but I thought that this time it was going to be more serious. I thought that this time it was going to be, really an absolute threat to the human race. But it turns out it's just the same old clown show. A few different people here and there. I mean, some of the old clowns are currently in prison right now, or they've just been released. But, you know, the head clown... He's still there, but he's got a joker who's doing pirouettes around him, who's properly weird. I mean, the weird quotient is just off the scale with these people. According to people briefed on the matter, Elon Musk, the world's richest Manbaby, has privately discussed with allies how a Keir Starmer could be removed as UK Prime Minister before the next general election. Or... to put it another way, Elon Musk, the world's weirdest human with whole armies of fawning worshippers at his feet, standing on a mountain of money you'd need oxygen to climb, feels that he doesn't have enough people looking at him. So he's trying to get more attention by trolling millions of people at the same time, like a baby. Or to put it other way, Elon Musk, the biggest beneficiary of the presidency that hasn't even begun yet, is trying to take Americans' mind off the fact that just enough of them voted for a con artist charlatan who is not going to deliver on any of the promises he made and will just do whatever those with the biggest pockets tell him to do. And that's why Trump is droning on about taking over Greenland and the Panama Canal and Canada. He doesn't intend to. He couldn't even do it if he did intend to. It's just the distraction technique that we know so well from the last time the American electorate let him out of the baby pen. It's the only act he's got. Lying about the things he's going to do, then distracting you from him not doing them. I mean, how many times do you have to see the same trick before you get it? It's not hard. I mean, it's not like he's bright.
Don't be rude.
According to people briefed on the matter, Elon Musk's view is that... I mean, you really don't need to read on, do you? Who cares? The man makes batteries. His view is that Western civilization itself is threatened. That's what apparently Elon Musk thinks. Civilization itself is threatened unless we get a Reform Party government, but crucially that's not led by Nigel Farage, because, you know, he's not up to it. Because unless we can get some very specific set of circumstances to happen, civilization itself is threatened. According to associates, Elon Musk has sought information about whether it might be possible to build support for alternative British political movements to force a change of Prime Minister before the next election, because this one doesn't fit him and he wants to return it. Hey, Elon, did you keep the receipt? Musk has accused Starmer, a former director of public prosecutions in England and Wales, who tackled child sexual abuse, of being complicit in the rape of Britain. He has described Jess Phillips, the safeguarding minister, as a rape genocide apologist in what might look from one of his orbiting rockets like the world's biggest public meltdowns. And then, just when you thought it couldn't get any weirder, and just hours after the Clacton gas bag was crowing about the support that Musk was rumoured to be giving, and glorying in what Farage said was the aura of cool that would appeal to the youth vote from having Elon on side, Elon said that Farage had to go because he didn't have what it takes. I mean, it's hard to know what to laugh at first. The fact that Farage thinks young people would find Elon cool, or that Farage had the rug pulled out from under him and didn't see it coming. Had no idea he was even in trouble, endlessly praising this Fruit Loop, ignoring his many and obvious failings as a human being, and then getting clocked around the head by one of those very failings. I mean, who to feel sorry for? Who to root for? Is it a real fight if you want both sides to lose? Musk says the Reform Party needs a new leader and that Farage doesn't have what it takes. Takes to do what? Represent the people of Clacton? According to people briefed on his thinking, Elon Musk has been examining possible candidates to replace Farage as leader of the party, including Reform UK MP Rupert Lowe. Yeah, Rupert Lowe. Go on, do it. Make Rupert Lowe leader. I double dare you. He'll make the party cool for kids. But, you know, Nigel's going to go off to suck up to Donald Trump soon, just like everybody else. I mean, the sight of all those corporations crawling across the carpet at Mar-a-Lago, holding checks for $1 million for Trumple Thinskin to spend on paintings of himself, is vomit-inducing. These billionaire tech and media types offering gifts and flattery to a whiny Manbaby who only wants gifts and flattery and will give anything to those that offer the most of both. And he'll be doing the sucking up at Trump's inauguration, which will have the biggest crowd of any president ever, believe me. Because that's going to happen. There's going to be crowd counting. I mean, at least Trump is certain to be there for Nige, unlike when the gas bag went to kiss the ring after Trump got shot and the tangerine scream couldn't even be bothered to see him. 3,000 miles he travelled. Well, good luck, Nige. Orange Baby's got a new best friend now. And his new best friend is way richer than you. And his new best friend doesn't like you, Nige. Which probably means that Donny won't like you either. Because Donny tends to like whoever gives him the most. And Keir Starmer, by contrast, is not expected to attend Trump's inauguration. And neither is Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch. But that won't stop her tweeting something stupid about Starmer letting the country down by not going. Because tweeting something stupid seems to be her new job. What a way to run a country, eh?
Dreadful.
0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's it's curtains for you.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Are you trying to be funny? Because I'm all out of laughs.
Oh, I'm all out of trying to figure out who to laugh at first. I mean, it's just priceless, isn't it? Daryl in Hove said, oh no, I read that. That's the UK becoming the 54th state. Yvonne in Hastings says, reference Rachel's visit to China. She will have to kowtow to her hosts. I think they're meeting in Kowtow, aren't they? I think they're meeting in Kowtow and then going on to Beijing afterwards. Attleborough. Hello, Jen.
Hi, Nick.
Yes,
Very
Jen.
nice to talk to you. Hello.
Jen.
Just a couple of things. Elon Musk is a name that you need to get used to. This is Elon Musk's dad. Now, he was on the television earlier this week, and he is the one pulling Elon's strings. It was him, the man from South Africa, who told Elon Musk that Farage wasn't suitable to lead reform.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the other interesting thing is your poor first caller was trying to tell you something, and I appreciate you probably thought he was going to tell jokes, but Elon Musk had 2 children with his stepdaughter, and she was 2.5 when she became his stepdaughter, and it is out there for people to see.
Right.
So he wasn't telling jokes, your first caller. He was trying to tell you something.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good work. Thanks a lot, Jen. Tom in Seven Oaks says, I used to be on the right and now I'm utterly ashamed of myself. They're rude, don't check their facts, get their information from far-right conspiracy theorists like Elon Musk and Andrew Tate, and they refuse to listen to reason. It's just dreadful, says Tom. It's just dreadful. I just can't stand it anymore, says Tom in Seven Oaks. He's very, very upset at himself. Don't beat yourself up, Tom. We all make mistakes. Dan says, since last week, Elon doesn't love Nigel anymore. Nigel still loves Donny. Donny is getting fed up with Elon. Nigel is pretending not to be upset that Elon doesn't love him anymore. How old are these people? It's like watching 10-year-old children with crushes. Yeah. Well, we are in the playground. I mean, that is the best way to look at everything that's happening here. Donald Trump has been just let out of Borstal. Despite all his previous criminal actions, they keep letting him out. And now he's lumbering around the playground looking for someone to pick on. And Elon keeps giving him all of his dinner money, so he's not going to pick on him. And it's whoever doesn't have backup. And that's us. We don't have backup because we decided to leave the gang that we were part of in order to wander around lonely and dateless in the playground. Chris in Cambridge says, I have a plate of stinky French cheese which is more palatable than anything that Liz Truss has to say, which is a disgrace.
That is a disgrace.
Liz Truss. I mean, I'd forgotten about Liz Truss. In the list of things to find amusing right now, she is right up at the top there. Not necessarily number 1, but she is number 3 with a bullet. That's what they used to call it, with a bullet. You arrive in the charts at a high level and you've got an enormous amount of sales behind you and you're likely to go to number 1. There was a song, 16 with a bullet, something like that. I bet my glamorous assistant is looking that up straight away. No, apparently not. Crouch End, hello, Brian.
Yeah, it was 18 with a bullet by Pete
18.
Wingfield.
Well, that is the right answer. What about that's for speed?
Well, you happened to ring me up at the exact time that you were saying that, and I said, I hope it goes to me next. So
Pete Wingfield.
Rock and roll!
Yes.
That's right. Name one other song by Pete Wingfield.
There are none.
I bet there are. I bet there's some quite good ones because that's a pretty good song. It's a catchy tune, isn't it?
It kind of revived the doo-wop feel, and and there was one point because I was in America when that song was a hit, and there was one week that it was actually 18 with a bullet.
Huh.
So yeah, the way these things work out.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I was going to be talking music trivia, but what the hell?
What the hell?
Yeah. No, I was, I lived in L.A. for 21 years, and I don't recall a single time in those 21 years where I was threatened by fires. And
they happen there every year, though, don't they? It's to some extent or other.
Yeah, and it's, but it has nothing to do with climate change, of course.
Oh, come on.
That's a hoax. Admitted, that was
right. Okay, you're being sarcastic. That's good.
Yes, don't worry.
But people have been predicting that this would happen for quite a while, and all it would take is the confluence of like specific weather events with a drought and then very, very strong winds, which will blow the fire beyond the ability of the authorities to do anything about it. And what's happened there is just absolutely, I mean, you just can't believe what you're looking at. Yeah,
well, there are a few celebrities who've lost their houses that I actually knew, and it's really, I mean, they're going to be fine, but there's a few thousand other people that aren't going to be so fine, that don't have the insurance that in the meantime, my favorite horrible thing of the week was seeing this clip of Jesse Waters from Fox News showing a picture of the three people in charge of the LA Fire Department, and they're all women, and one of them is black, and he just posts the picture and then says something to the effect of, "Well, what do you think?" But basically, he thinks that white men are the only people that should be in charge of these kind of things.
Yeah. Well, it was, people are blaming the gays for the fire. I mean, we can only be a short period away from religious leaders saying that this is God smiting Los Angeles because of all the gays, because they've done that kind of thing before. But what you're referring to is the anti, as it's written here, LBGTQ plus rhetoric. She boasts about, this is the LA fire chief, Kristen Crowley. She boasts about being the first female and LGBTQ plus fire chief in the LA fire department, promoting a culture of DEI. What's DEI again?
That's, I'm drawing a blank. The I is for inclusion.
Right, okay, so we get that. A culture of, like, wokery, let's make it that short, is her priority. Does this make you feel safer? And in another tweet, he said, DEI will get people DIED. So, yeah, it's the gays. That's who done it. Now we know.
Well, I knew that. I lived in San Francisco before I moved to L.A.
Well, say no more.
So, yeah. So I got to experience the whole culture.
Yeah.
And I, even though I lived in L.A. twice as long as I lived in San Francisco, I still consider myself a San Franciscan at heart. That's just me. Also, Trump had some great things to say about that the fires are Biden's fault and Gavin Newsom's fault and the mayor of L.A.
Yeah.
Because Gavin Newsom should have realized that there was all this water in Northern California they could have just funneled down. But instead they let... in fact, I saw a horrible meme which showed Gavin Newsom saying, well, okay, L.A.'s burning, but at least we saved the smelt, referring to the little fish.
Right, yeah. Is it not true that much of the water that would have come to LA's rescue had been essentially stolen and taken to another part of the state for the growing of almonds?
God, that I don't know, but nothing surprises me anymore.
Because I think almonds is one of the most water-intensive products that you can grow.
Almonds.
Almonds.
I was thinking of the Almond Brothers. But,
no, not them. No, they almost never touched water.
It's too toxic or something.
Unless in a whiskey. Other than that, they just refuse point blank. Yeah,
I love that we're going off on tangents here.
Yeah, that's what I do. All right, good to talk to you. Thanks a lot, Brian. 0345 6060 973. This show is only tangents.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
I just want to tell you all how happy I am to be back in the studio, making a picture again.
It's a radio show, dear. Phil in Port Talbot says, apparently wild lynx are on the loose in Britain. Do you think they smell like deodorant? A listener with material.
Oh, no.
David Paul says, be careful not to say anything damning about the Lizbot, no matter how true, or you'll end up with a nice letter from the Lizbot's legal team. I mean, at this point, you think, are they deliberately trying to make us laugh, this lot? I mean, you know, there's a handful of them at the moment who seem to be bending over backwards trying to make us laugh. Are they trying to distract us? Somebody should be looking into this very strongly. East Yorkshire. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Nick. How's it going?
Yes, good, thanks.
I'm glad you started on Musk, because earlier in the week I've got half an hour to kill, and I thought I'll just have a dig around on some American news sites and websites and see what I come up with. Little thing, big thing. Little thing, 2 years ago, Musk donated $112 million to a charity. Now, in America, you can make a profit if you're wealthy by donating to charity. You get more tax benefits than you've donated.
Really?
Which is fair enough.
Is it?
Well, listen. When people dug into this, because nobody recognised the charity, it's a charity he set up and controlled that he donated his own money to.
Wait a minute. Where did you get that information from?
It was from it was from New York Times or Washington Post or whatever. It was one of the reputable ones.
Well, I'm not sure that we can say that about the Washington Post anymore, being as how their owner crawled across the carpet with a $1 million check in his teeth for Donald Trump.
Well, there is.
Go on.
There is that to it. But the second one, this is a question for you. Elon Musk, he's got several companies, but this is just Tesla, purely Tesla. He tried to pay himself wages. This is not dividends, profit, or anything else. A year's wages, he tried to pay himself a certain amount. How much do you think Elon Musk paid?
I think it was, and I'm probably going to get this correct, $56 billion. Is that right?
101 billion.
101 billion. Well, you know, what's 101 minus 56 between friends?
And it just sort of struck me. It got blocked because another shareholder objected and the judge blocked it completely. But it just struck me that if Tesla had 1 million employees, which they don't, he could have given them all 100 grand each bonus.
Yes.
Instead of taking it all for himself. Well, doesn't that tell you something about the man?
Yeah, it's nothing that you learn about Elon Musk gives you a more positive opinion of him. The more you learn, the worse it gets. I mean, here is a man who could solve homelessness in his adopted country instantly overnight. And what does he do with his money? I mean, I don't know precisely what pleasure he gets from what he's doing with his money, because it doesn't seem like he's having a good time. It seems like he's having a crisis.
Yeah, I mean, what psychology is it that tells you that one company should pay you 100 billion?
Yeah.
There's something wrong with somebody.
I think there's something wrong with society that people can get that rich. And I know I'm going to get a chorus of, oh, that's just the politics of envy. That is. I'm not envious of him at all, on any level. I mean, would I want all of that money? Absolutely not. You wouldn't be free for the rest of your life. It would be you'd be instantly the most famous and thereby in danger person on earth, as would anybody that you know. So no, I'm not remotely jealous of his position, but I just don't think. I think that the system that we got is supposed to be a capitalist system, in which you benefit from the work that you do. But that seems to have... We seem to have waved goodbye to that system, and almost without notice, a couple of decades ago. And now we have a system where those at the very top accrue all of the wealth that everybody underneath them makes. It's like a feudal society. We've gone back in time thousands of years. Not thousands exactly, but hundreds.
Yeah, you are dead right. We were starting to get civilization nearly broke out, and we're going back into Darwinism. But something else you said before struck me with Musk as well. Okay, he's got these companies. He's got Twitter, and he's got Tesla, and he's got the rocket thing, X, and what have you. When you look at it, not other than with government subsidies, none of these companies have actually made money. Well, his money has come from Abbot.
And neither did he actually invent any of the things that those companies sell. He just bought them and took them over and then made them his. And I think his expertise is to knock on the government's door and then open his mouth, and they shovel in billions of dollars of the taxpayers' money, by which method you can get even you could get rich, Mike, or me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and his value is in stock. Not in what is actually earned. Profits is made.
Yeah.
It's actually an asset. And this is what you've said for years. It's not the wages that make you rich.
It's assets. Yeah, that's right. And if he keeps this up, then who's going to be buying Tesla anymore? I mean, I wouldn't even... if you gave me one, I'd sell it and buy a BMW. I would. I would not want to be driving around in a Tesla. No way. I mean, because he now represents that company. So everything that he does is now what that car is. But you can't say that about any other car maker. I mean, who is the boss of BMW? I bet if I gave you £1,000 right now, Mike, you wouldn't be able to tell me.
No, absolutely not.
No.
I mean, Enzo Ferrari set up Ferrari, and okay.
Yeah, but he ain't running it anymore. No.
It was a privileged vehicle. It has got certain qualities, and very few could afford it. But it wasn't. It didn't have driving a Ferrari didn't taint you somehow. It didn't label you as a bit of a freak.
It makes you. I mean, if you're driving a Ferrari at 3 miles an hour around London, making an absolute racket, then it does say something about you. A little bit, yeah. I think it does. Yeah, but not as bad as what driving around in essentially a red MAGA hat says about you.
Which makes fart noises.
That's right. Yeah, we know that now, yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, Mike. 0345 6060 973. That's the level we're at. He makes a car that makes a fart noises.
Disgusting.
That's what he does. That's who he is. This says, can't believe that the upcoming president of the United States of America gets a no-penalty sentence. A legal eagle maintains that Trump thinks he's above the law. Well, he's not wrong to think that way, given that he's never been punished for his crimes. Shambles, says that texter. Or he might be called Shambles. I don't know. Tony out of Derry says, Nick, finally something that can't be blamed on Sparkles or Uncle Jezza. Jonathan from Harrow hasn't phoned you since you outed him a few months ago. It's all your fault. Thanks a lot, says Tony. Yeah. Sorry about that.
I am very sorry that I screwed up. Totally screwed. I mean, I am so sorry. You just don't know how sorry I am.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I am sorry. This text says, I hear that the Clacton gas bag has been sighted in Esher this evening. Since his sighting in Leicester last week, could the people of Clacton raise their hopes that the MP may be locally sighted in 2025? I seriously doubt it. I mean, if he was not the MP for Clacton, would Nigel Farage ever go there?
No.
It's just not his kind of place. Does the Ritz have a branch in Clacton? No. Neither does the Savoy. I think the Savoy's more his thing, not the Ritz. I think the Ritz is a bit too on tiptoe. I think he's more of a Savoy type. That whole flat hat and a pint, that's an act, that is. This says, Nick, you were right about Billionaire's hairstyles. Did you see Zuckerberg's mop when he announced he would stop fact-checking on his media site? It looked like it had it blown dried by Boris's hairstylist.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with billionaires. I mean, are they trying to make out like they're too busy to get their hair cut? Because that's nonsense. You got that kind of money, the haircut comes to you. You don't go to the haircut. You don't have to make an appointment. You just buy the shop, and they sit bolt upright when you arrive without an appointment. Or whether they think that if they cut their hair, they'll lose their mojo. I don't know, but they all have got this sort of unkempt, greased back hair. But they all to a man, because it's always men, have the stupid show-off watch. Everything else about them can look absolutely terrible, just as long as they got the stupid show-off watch, which sort of mitigates any hair don't that they may be sporting at that time. You know, if your watch costs $1 million, like his did when he was giving that announcement, then it doesn't really matter what your hair looks like, does it? Everybody knows you've got money. That's the most important thing to these people. Sandbach. Hello, John.
Hi. There was interesting news this week that Musk wanted to buy Liverpool Football Club for his dad, who's a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
And he's got relatives living in Liverpool. And from what I can gather, the club had a survey of supporters, and it came out to 100% against.
That's what I would have expected. 100%. Thank you, Liverpool.
Yes, I mean, it would be probably the only place that would do that. But at least there's somebody got some sense in this country.
Yeah, I mean, would Chelsea fans have done that? Or would they just welcome in whoever's got the most money?
It'd be the most money,
The most money, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but at least somebody's got some principle.
And if you don't like these principles, then, I've got others. That's Groucho Marx, that is.
Think his relatives he's still got relatives in Liverpool?
I read somewhere, now, this was in a newspaper, so please take it with a pinch of salt. I read somewhere that one of his relatives actually tried to make contact with Elon Musk, and his response was, "What do you want?" As in... And that's what I was saying before, in order to try to stem the tide of, that's just the politics of envy, that is, I try to explain that. I envy him not one iota, because with that kind of money, you would assume that anybody that introduces themselves to you will want some of that cash. And that would turn you a bit loopy, a bit... And that appears to be happening to at least a handful of the world's richest people. They all seem to be going slightly insane.
He can stick his Tesla for me. I'd rather buy a Robin Reliant van.
Yeah. You make the Robin Reliant go, and I'll follow you down the M1 in an Austin Allegro. How does that sound?
But no, I might be worth hundreds of millions, but nobody would know it.
No one would know it, yeah. All right, Thanks a lot, John. 0345 6060 973. This text says, leave Elon alone. He's doing his best. Which is, of course, what people used to say about Boris Johnson, as though he was 5 and had been tasked to clean up his room rather than run a country. Isn't that right, Bodge?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Leave him alone. People used to say that all the time. I mean, that was when The Thing was among us. You know, The Thing? Back in 2021. And at the beginning of 2020, I do recall, and I have mentioned this frequently, hand up, it was my fault. I recall writing that on air, writing 2020 down and saying, God, that looks like a really great number, right at the beginning of the year. Doesn't that look like a great number, 2020? What could possibly happen that's bad in a year with that number, 2020? And then we quickly found out precisely what could happen. Shall I say the same thing about 2025?
No.
Because it looks quite good when you write it down and look at it. I mean, it's quite a pleasant-looking number, 2025. What could possibly happen that's bad in 2025? Apart from anything that's been instigated by the Tangerine tornado.
Don't be rude.
Apart from that.
Nick Abbot on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Nobody knows who the hell he is.
Pauline in Watford says, when is the A to Z of 2024 ready for purchase? Pauline, that is an excellent question.
Thank you.
It is available to purchase at this minute. The A to Z of 2024 is in a book. It's on... hang on a minute, I'm going to cough. That's better. Pauline, the A to Z of 2024 is available in a book which is called What a Way to Run a Country, and highlights the things that occupied us on this show over the year of 2024. I do believe that you'll find it a delight. It's in two forms. One is Tree Huggers e-book form for the eco-conscious. Groovy. And the other is tree-hating paperback form. Now, the paperback form is not available yet because it's so difficult. I've been publishing things on Amazon self-published for years now, and they haven't changed the way that you can publish your book at all. It's just as bad now as it was years ago, and it was terrible years ago. And they keep saying, oh, this bit's not right, and that bit's not right, and we can't read that, and we can't read this, but without telling you how to fix it. So anyway, I've got the... but you know me, it's not like I complain about things.
Stop whining.
But it's available on ebook form, and I recommend that you buy it on ebook form. I mean, you know, for the planet. But as soon as I figure out how, then it will be also available on paperback. Rotherham, Jack.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. Just calling about the California wildfires.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely saying it's their fault, but it does seem like these fires have been getting worse ever since Harry and Sparkles permanently moved to California.
Well, that is true. Yeah.
That.
Very coincidental. Yes, suspicious.
Yeah, could be that they're starting them to sort of take the distraction away from themselves.
Is there nothing they will not do for attention?
Yeah, crazy.
All right, thanks a lot, Jack. Mike in Sutton says, I don't know about you, but Space Karen is definitely a Bond villain in my mind. He controls the sky, space, electric cars, communications networks, AI, some currency, and now apparently governments. If this was a film, we'd send in MI5. Yeah, we'd send in MI5 with one of those... I can't remember which film it was, but it was Roger Moore, and he had a bullet that blew things up and turned them into a balloon. And he made the baddie swallow the I guess it wasn't a bullet, it was a canister of some sort. And he swallowed the canister, and he turned into a balloon and floated away. I think that would probably be a good idea. Hands up, who's with me? Turn him into a balloon and make him float away. Let's see now. Hammersmith. Hello, John.
Hello.
Yes, John.
You asked what could go wrong in 2025.
Yes.
I think something very nasty would be China joining in with Russia in Ukraine. They've already sent the North Korean troops in there. Mrs. Reeves is over there right now trying to head this off with the offer of business. I think we should all say a prayer that she succeeds.
She's trying to stop China from joining in Russia in the fight in Ukraine. I'm not sure that that's actually what she's there for.
Well, she's there to offer business.
Yeah.
Which China desperately needs.
Well, they don't desperately need it. I mean, they'll do all right without us.
Okay.
It's the other way around. What's the problem? We can't do without them. They can do without us. Same as the EU, really.
From your mouth to God's ear.
I have no idea what that means. But bless you, my son. This text says, Evening, Nick. Unlawful means contrary to statute. Illegal refers to a bird of prey, not in the best of health. Do I get a celebrity ding? No, you do not. I would get out more, but as your weatherman Jim Dale has confirmed, it's absolutely Baltic here in the Highlands. It's very, very cold outside. Well, it's very, very cold inside. This text says, I think that Canada's Trudeau... And, by the way, I'll repeat this because it may actually improve someone's life. If you are in a place that is difficult to heat, Stop trying to continue to try to heat the place as you can afford. But what you really want is to put the heat on you, not around you. And for that, trust me when I tell you, you need a heated throw, not a heated blanket, which is something you put on the bed and lay flat, and you either lay on it or under it. Probably on it, right? No, you want something that you can snuggle under like a blanket, but that is also heated. I am telling you, it is a life-changing product. And I would not be without it. It comes in like thick fleece material, so even when it's not plugged in, it's warm. But plug it in and, it's great. A heated throw. Get the biggest one that you can afford, and you can thank me. No, wait. I've changed my mind. You can thank me now.
Thank you.
Clive says, don't forget that Farage has said that, if necessary, Reform will carry out an inquiry into grooming gangs. Farage has forgotten that Reform could not even vet its prospective MP candidates. He hasn't said that, has he? God, what an absolute character. I mean, I think he said it best when he said,
Nigel Farage is not fit and proper to be in government.
Well, if you say so, Nige. You may think that. I could not possibly comment. Tooting. Hello, Jan.
Oh, hi, good evening.
Yes, Jan.
So I'm looking forward to getting a heated throw, snuggling up in it, and getting what's the e-book from Kindle of your A to Z.
Yes, it's called What a Way to Run a Country.
I know,
And it has a baby covered in mud on the front. And I was thinking of...
Yeah. Wait a minute.
When I selected that picture.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I will probably get a paperback one, because I must say I love trees, but I do like books. But Nick...
You prefer them dead? Yes.
No, but Nick, I'm ringing up about the Panama, what Trump said about, seizing the Panama, sorry, I'm pronouncing it wrong, canal, and taking over Greenland.
Yes.
So what's interesting is that he's almost like an American Putin, in that he wants to stop the to expand, make America great. But he also wants to stop. But in his case, he wants to stop China. China's has such a hold over those areas. So when he says he wants to make the Gulf...
China has a hold over Greenland?
Well, apparently it does through an Australian... I actually did a little bit of digging around, and I found out that Greenland... I knew so little about it, but it's the smallest population in the world, mainly Inuit, Eskimos. But it's a mineral-rich country. And
Oil. Got lots of oil and minerals and anything you could possibly want, and it's all under miles of ice. So as soon as the climate change kicks in, then the ice will melt, and they'll be able to get all of that delicious gold and lithium and whatever is under there.
There was loads of it, but there's a Chinese-linked Australian company there that says the Greenland government owes them 11 billion. So, but although the government of Greenland wanted to encourage people to invest, in mining or getting the mineral resources, there's a lot of problems with it. But what's so and then sorry, I know it's almost time to finish that.
Yeah. All I'm hearing is noise now, Jan.
Oh no, because I was going to mention about Panama as well.
About where?
Panama Canal.
Panama. Unfortunately, Jan, we're fresh out of time, but I do appreciate the call, whatever it was about.
On your radio, on Global Player, and
Play LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC. This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Hello, everyone. I'm not a big fan of his brain.
Thanks a lot, Donny. You're the best. You're the best, worst person in the world ever. Andrew texts, Musk's biographer came out this week saying he thinks Musk is going mad and that his drug addiction, nervous breakdowns and bizarre lifestyle have taken their toll. Okay. I'm unaware of that. Dave in Paul says, Nick, can I be the leader of the Reform Party? I'm super qualified for my role. My parole officer says I'd be perfect. Think about it, Nige. Sounds like an ideal candidate to me. I mean, you could be appalled. I've decided to be amused. I mean, so far, you know. Because all of the people that were supposed to be, you know, like Bond villains who were going to take over the world, and they've been waiting for their chance for ages. You know, like Liz Truss, the Lizbot. She'd been waiting for her chance for ages, and she was going to put into practice all of those things that the Tufton Street Massive have been dreaming about for years. You know, tax cuts for billionaires, all of that stuff. And the moment it happened, them having planned and toiled away at writing books about it and, you know, coming up with fantastical figures in order to prove their points and so on and so on. The moment they had their chance, it was like a bin fire ensued. All of these geniuses, you know, the people with the money, the people you think, well, there's some sort of like higher being. They're just a bunch of chumps. They're just a bunch of chumps winging it. And they have the money right enough to sort of hammer home some of the things that they want, bludgeoning any objection aside. With cash, you can do that. But, I mean, the world has a pretty neat trick of bringing people like that up. Like the weather. You know, like the weather in Britain. You think that you've prepared for the day, but the weather's got a pretty neat trick of finding the one thing that you didn't bring. Like an umbrella, or a jumper, or a hat, or sunglasses. There will be something that you didn't plan for. This says, Dear Nick, 4 weeks ago I told you about how I walked into the same fence twice and I busted my lip. This week I nearly joined Andrew Tate's new political party, but I wouldn't want anything to make me look stupid. Wouldn't want to do anything to make me look stupid. Oh, well, never mind. I screwed that one up. Apologise. Andrew Tate's got a new political party? See? It just keeps getting funnier and funnier. 0345 6060 973. Hove. Brian.
Oh, hello, Nick.
Brian.
I was just ringing to let you know that the Bond film...
Brian, can you back away from the phone a couple of feet?
Oh, sorry, I'm a bit loud.
A little bit loud, yeah.
The Bond film you're talking about is Live and Let Die. Roger Moore. He forces that little explosive bullet into Dr. Kananga's mouth, or Mr. Big's mouth. And,
Dr. Kananga.
He kind of blows up and explodes.
Right.
He doesn't float away.
He doesn't float. Well, I'm not suggesting that we blow up Elon Musk like a balloon and then it pops. You know, just we could blow him up like a balloon and then he could float gently away.
He's such a Bond villain, isn't he, that Elon? I mean, he's got the face for it.
I don't know. Would a James Bond villain do dad dancing on stage with his gut hanging out? I just can't see it, really.
Oh, I thought he was doing robotics, but I mean, oh God, it just made me feel sick.
Yeah.
But yes, James Bond had just saved Solitaire. That's
Solitaire.
What it was. He just saved it, and then he just blew up the bad guy.
Yeah.
And can I just mention something else as well? It's been on my mind for weeks, and I need to apologise. I phoned up about, you were talking about protest songs, and I mentioned about these boots were made for walking.
Oh, yeah.
With, you know, the Nancy Sinatra hit, which was a number one around the world in 1966. It was written as like a feminist song.
Sorry?
But it got used by the guys in Vietnam as that was also a protest song. So it was kind of written like a protest song for the feminist movement, but it did get taken on by the soldiers in Vietnam.
Who wrote it
as well? And she was a pin-up for them.
Who wrote it?
That was
who wrote it?
But
you can't hear me, can you, Brian?
A bit of the facts wrong, and
all right.
I had to.
Okay, never mind. All right, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Brian. Can't hear a word I'm saying. These boots are made for walking. Let's see who wrote that. It's a song by Nancy Sinatra. Well done, Nancy. Excellent work. This says, I heard Jeremy Hunt on BBC over the Christmas period. I almost fell off my chair laughing when he said that the Tories are reflecting seriously and quietly on their loss at the election. Did I miss something, he says. All they have done since July is talk and talk and talk about what a mess Skier is making, and how does that equate to quiet reflection? Why are they still talking? Every time I hear one of them hyperventilate and pontificate and bloviate on with their silliness and their point scoring and their infantile way that they are conducting themselves in, every single time I think, are you still speaking? And there's a couple in particular that are just absolutely insufferable. One of them has been promoted above his abilities and, well, I mean, I have, obviously, but what I do isn't important for the nation. But this bloke, he is painful. It's like talking to a robot.
Affirmative.
You probably know who I'm talking about. I can barely bring myself to say his name. Here is Ipswich. Hello, Phil.
I need your help, Nick.
Yes.
If you can possibly help me. Yes, I need advice on what penance I can do. I live in the countryside where the internet doesn't really work unless I want a 2-mile bit of copper wire. And because I work from home, I need to have proper internet. And sadly, tragically, the only way that I can get decent internet connection is to pay Musk for Starlink. Now, what should I do as penance? Because I really hate the fact, and my wife hates the fact, that we're paying this man, this awful, awful man, £75 a month.
Oh, wow. Really? 75 a month? What do you get for that?
£75 a month. You get pretty good internet connection.
How much download?
About 150, 200, which is
that's pretty good.
It's pretty good, but it's more than 10 times what I could get if I went with BT.
Right. Now I know that there is a challenger company that are starting up to take on Elon Musk.
Oh,
in that very field. Now I don't know where they're going to be operating. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there is going to be competition. Isn't that incredible that in this tiny country where you're barely 50 miles from the sea and probably not 20 miles from a major conurbation, you can't get the internet except from space?
Exactly. Yeah, it's awful. So I was wondering what sort of hair shirt I should wear. Should I go around the street pretending that Dark Side of the Moon is the greatest album ever, or do something? I don't know.
I think spending £75 a month on internet is punishment enough.
I guess so. It's really bad, and I just wish I mean, there is an alternative, but it would cost $2,500 to set up.
Right.
And, that's a lot.
I thought that the government was also, or was this a Jeremy Corbyn thing? I think Jeremy Corbyn wanted to roll out high-speed internet for everybody free of charge.
BT promised it for years, but it's just, I mean, if you live on a private road that's not on the beaten track, it's just not going to happen. It's just, I mean, BT doesn't even think we exist, so it ain't going to happen. So I'm stuck. There we are.
Maybe you don't exist. Have you considered that?
I think that might be the answer, yes.
You want to look yourself up on the internet, Phil?
I think I should try that.
All right. Thanks a lot, mate. Ta-ra. 0345 6060 973. This text says, it's all going to be good. Elon is currently focusing on backing Paddington in replacing Farage. What a wise choice. Stay safe. I'd like to have seen Nigel Farage's face when he found out that Elon Musk had turned on him. I mean, that must have been absolutely priceless. I have detailed files. What time is it? Oh man, I've got time to fit them in. I'll do some text and then I'll come back. I'll come back to this. I also want to talk about astronauts. I want to talk about Truss versus Starmer, because that's just, I mean, Liz Truss, you are the gift that keeps on giving. Thank you, Liz Truss.
Thank you.
We appreciate all of your efforts to entertain and amuse. Keep doing what you're doing. Promise me you won't stop. I want to talk about blackouts, how this is all Harry and Meghan's fault, and, well, there's just plenty else besides. There's actually so much to talk about, it is boggling my brain. That is a recording of my brain being boggled. Nikki in Kent says, Uncle Nige has now declared that Shamima Begum should come back to the UK, and the Reform UK Limited gammons are strangling themselves on their pineapple rings. on their pineapple rings. The incoming ghouls in the Tangerine Tantrums cabinet have said that the UK must take back the British ISIS terrorist. Poor Uncle Nige is only doing Trump's bidding. Why would they say that? Oh, I missed something. Maybe I tuned out this week and I was, doing other things. It was very, very important business. I seem to have missed a lot. This says, Nick, I've come up with the most fabulous idea. Send all of your morons to the United States, and in turn the United States sends all of its smart people, the Harris voters, there to replace them. No more whinging and whining, no more bodgers in the government. It'll be utopia. All problems sorted. You are very welcome and a happy new year. Well, I think we should give that serious consideration. We should look at that very strongly and with great strength.
Leading Britain's conversation, Nick Abbot. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
I really like you. Do you like me?
Yeah, sure, why not? This says, when I look at Trump, I think he has the face of someone who looks severely constipated. He is certainly full of it, but perhaps a dose of X-Lax is called for. Well, you could maybe get like a family pack. Good value for money. Think of the pennies. Billionaires aren't made of money, you know. Kim in Wimbledon says, "Hi Nick, why is it on billionaire males why is it only billionaire males who seem to have this midlife crisis? There are a few women about, but you don't hear the same nonsense from them." Well, you do actually hear the same kind of nonsense from women, not necessarily women billionaires, but just, there's in America, there's a whole coterie of ding-a-ling women saying the most outrageous nonsense, Marjorie Taylor Greene being among them. Is it perhaps that they aren't taken as seriously? That if you say something kooky as a bloke, people think, oh, well, maybe there's something behind what he said. Maybe there's some sort of deeper meaning. But if a woman says something kooky, well, she's just kooky. Just a little bit, Jerry says, Nick, I have a conspiracy theory that you are trying to upset people by laughing and using funny noise effects. I'm not upset. I'm actually quite amused. You need to try harder, says Jerry. Certainly will do. Honiton. Athena.
Hello.
Athena.
Hello, Nick.
Athena.
You know that guy that was talking to you about the internet?
Yes.
Right. Well, we've got internet. We live in a rural area just outside Honiton in Devon.
Yeah.
And we've got a company called GigaClear that provides us with internet.
How much is that then?
Well, we got an introductory thing, and it's 6 months free.
Free?
And then it's only because they've not long started up.
Yeah.
So it's a case of what he'd have to do is give them a ring and have a chat with them and see whether they could supply it to him.
Is it from satellite?
It's hang on a second. Ryan.
I think we've discovered a a flaw in Athena's little scheme.
It's not a satellite, is it? What is it?
It'll be a wire that comes in the side of her house.
Fibre.
Yeah.
It's fibre.
Okay.
Nick.
Thank you, Athena.
All right.
I'll take that under advisement. No, that's the whole point. He can't get fibre because he lives too far away from anywhere. What Athena has just done is tell us that other internet companies are available. Nice name, though. Athena. I'm pretty sure that was one of them puppet model things. You know, like Thunderbirds. Athena. Didn't she used to swim? Pretty sure about that. This text says, "Hi, Nick. I think she had a tail. Check if you got a tail, Athena." This says, "Hi, Nick. Not sure you would get enough money to buy a BMW from selling a Tesla. Nobody would buy it from you, given most of Brits' opinions on Musk. He's even upset Farage." He seems to be going out of his way to upset as many people as possible. I think he gets a thrill from it. You know, some people throw themselves out of planes with a parachute, of course. Some people go on roller coasters. Some people see horror movies. Some people just get angry for their thrills. You know, the dopamine hit that squirts around their brain. And I think Elon Musk just likes to use the power that his money and his close personal relationship with Donald Trump has given him. It's almost like, yeah, what are you going to do about it? So that's the level we're at. And I think you have to keep in mind that these people aren't geniuses. They're not some other superior being. They're children. They're kidults who have never heard the word no. Spoilt little babies. All of them. And so if you think about what they do on that level, then what they do is actually becomes much more clear. Because if you try to ponder some deeper significance as to what it is that they're doing, there isn't any. About as deep as it gets is them waving their hand in your face to distract you while they pick your pocket for your dinner money. That's it. That's Trump to a T, and I think it's all of these other supposed geniuses who are around him. They think that their money is going to protect them from, well, everything, up to and including climate change. And I have bad news for them. It won't. Now, you could be appalled, and you could sit there doom-scrolling about the things that they're going to do to us, and, you know, I'm sure they're going to do appalling things to the Americans that voted for them, specifically, the people that are most in need of government handouts, which are all of the Republican states. The Democrat states are the well-off ones, where the IQ is higher. Those states are the poor ones, where the IQ is lower. The smart people in those states left and went to California, New York, Chicago, places like that. The dingalings, they stayed put and voted for Donald Trump. And now he's about to take their money away, but they don't know it yet. I just wonder how he's going to distract them from what he's about to do to them. But having said that, I think I know exactly how he's going to distract them from what he's about to do to them.
I'm building a wall, okay? I'm building a wall. I'm building a wall, okay? I'm building a wall.
It's the same old, same old. It's the same old thing on repeat. Because they're not that bright. They don't have anything else. Blame a small, easily identifiable minority, and then set about stealing anything that you possibly can from anywhere that people have been dumb enough to leave it out. That's the plan. Like children. We're not dealing with Bond villains here. We're dealing with kids in a playground with machine guns and an unlimited credit card. If there were aliens from space in those drones that people have been seeing in the skies, I think that, for the benefit of the planet, not for the human race, but for the benefit of the planet, they should take care of the lot of us straight away. The planet would recover in about 2 weeks. This text says, I was watching a custom car program on Netflix, and the garage in the program was challenged to put a V8 block into a Tesla Model 3. What? The customer likes the design of the car but hates electric cars. Do you think the warranty may be invalidated? That's the other thing. I mean, this is how dumb they are. Teslas are bought by eco-woke liberals who vote Democrat. The chief of Tesla and the world's most visible car chief, because I challenge you to name another, for any model, of any brand of car. Name one other CEO of any other brand of car. I challenge you to do that. I bet you can't. I couldn't. No idea. He is the preeminent maker of cars. And the people that buy the cars are Democrats, small L liberals. And he's just annoyed every single one of them. To the point that now it's embarrassing to be in one of those things. Because it used to be a badge of your green eco-woke credentials, didn't it, driving a Tesla? It used to make you a bit feel a sense of superiority. Oh, I'm not polluting the environment as I go back and forth to Waitrose. But now it's just kind of embarrassing. I mean, you see somebody in one, you think, haven't you sold it yet? You're still driving that? Are you willing to be associated with that person? But of course not. It's just that they just spent 90 grand on one, and the second-hand sales value is through the floor. If you gave me one for free, I'd sell it for the cash, and use that money to go on a bus. Better. Where am I now? This text says, what was going on with that video by Zuckerberg? His wet perm looked like some awful 90s throwback. What was that with the gold chain and the black T-shirt? He's trying to appeal to the MAGA lot, specifically Donald Trump. He's had a makeover, probably, I don't know, maybe he just saw the pictures of himself and wearing the exact same thing over and over and over again. And he thought, well, maybe I could buy a different coloured sweatshirt. I don't know. I mean, how can you get in the mind of these people? How can you get in the mind of a person who is worth more than they could ever spend in 10 lifetimes if they didn't go to sleep and spent every waking minute spending money? They still wouldn't be able to get through it. How can you get in the mind of somebody who has all of that and their sole occupation appears to be trying to make more of it? It's just bizarre. I mean, if they had the actual cash rather than just numbers on a screen, you'd think that maybe there's something in the ink that's rubbing off and getting into their skin and there's polluting their brain somehow. But it just must be having that amount. They just seem to be obsessed with making more and, crucially, giving as little as possible away in tax, to help the country that allowed them to make that fortune in the first place. Weird, strange people. Odd. I think the human race needs to be corrected. I think we've made an error along the way. This text says, so disappointed with Elon Musk, he could have been the real-life Batman. Instead, he chose to be Lex Luthor. Yeah, that's exactly right, yeah. But he doesn't think of himself like that, does he? He thinks of himself as Iron Man. But he isn't. No. Doughboy, more like. Not Iron Man, Doughboy. Ed in Dublin says, Nick, I've just squirted some old garlic paste into my compost bin. Turns out that it wasn't such a great idea. Any suggestions on how I might get it back into the tube? The smell is horrific. What did you want to do that for, Ed? Why didn't you just throw it away? Were you trying to be eco and woke by getting rid of the contents, and then you were going to put the tube in the correct bin. Because that is a bit of an issue, isn't it? If you're trying to do the right thing and the receptacle you've got is full of food, do you put it in the food bin? No. But do you put it in the, if it's metal, say, do you put it in the metal recycling? Well, not really, because it's got food in it. So Ed was trying to do the right thing, but failed. Better luck next time, Ed.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
And I can't stand him.
An aircraft... Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Wait. So we just heard on the news an aircraft aborted takeoff at the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport on Friday morning. That's this morning, with passengers using emergency slides to de-board.
Oh, no.
De-board. I mean, that's a pretty benign phrase for throwing yourself out of a plane and hoping that the inflatable chute will catch you. We're going to de-board. The incident involved a Boeing. Again. Blimey. Somebody check on Boeing stock. A lot of shareholders are currently deboarding as we speak. And I read that. That's the garlic thing. I think foxes are probably going to be very interested in your rubbish bin there, Ed. I would imagine that they would find it delicious. This says, as the Lizbot has started talking again, can we buy a new lettuce to compare and contrast? I saw the most wonderful thing. I hope that you did too. If you didn't, then you should definitely look it up. It's the Wallace and Gromit Christmas thing. That was absolutely hilarious. And one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life was when he was recharging the gnome. I wonder if Liz Truss looks like that when she's being recharged. Here's calling Carnforth. Hey up, Annie.
Hey up, Nick. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good. I was just thinking about Elon Musk and how quickly it's taken him to fall out with Farage, fortunately. Fortunately for all of us. And just wondering how long it's going to take before he falls out with the Orange Nightmare.
Well, I think it's going to be the other way around.
Yeah, or the other way around, because, they're both just huge man-babies with enormous egos, aren't they? So
all they want is to be praised and revered, yes. And the money. I mean, Elon Musk don't need no money, but he seems to be obsessed with making more of it. You know, that seems to be a billionaire's thing. But Donald Trump, he needs the money, and he also needs the praise. If you can flatter him, he will do literally anything. America is for sale right now. If you've got $1 million and you want something out of America and you want to make back 100 or 200 or 1,000% on your investment, then rush to Mar-a-Lago straight away. The door is open.
And I'm sure they'll be flocking there. But I mean...
Well, they are.
As far as Musk's concerned as well, I think this is interesting, but Musk was born and brought up in South Africa under the apartheid South Africa, and 3 other of these in Trump's team are also brought up in apartheid
in South Africa.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that is very interesting.
I mean, maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe, some of them were brought up in America or India or, wherever it might be. But, yeah, it is interesting that there seems to be a lot of South African billionaires that appear to be attempting a world coup.
Oh, dear God. Honestly, next year, this year, 2025, I'm just not particularly optimistic either for America here or the world, really. Well, but unfortunately, we'll just have to see, won't we?
We can look at it 2 ways. We can decide to be appalled, and there will be plenty enough for that. Or we can decide to be amused, knowing that is the last thing that these kind of people want, is for people to be laughing at them. They hate that.
Yes, and also I think we should all start boycotting Musk's businesses. I mean, a lot of people are boycotting Twitter, aren't they, or X, or whatever it is now.
I don't know. Well, they say that there was an exodus, but I've got no idea. I don't know what the numbers are.
And
everybody should boycott everything that they don't agree with that company has said or done. I'm not singling out Musk's businesses at all. I think everybody should make more informed choices about the companies that they give money to.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And also countries you buy things from, and, all sorts of things
exactly.
You can boycott.
Right, precisely.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to say about keeping warm is definitely have a cat on the end of your bed, because they're very good hot water bottles. I have one that sleeps on the bottom of my bed every night, so she is a good hot water bottle.
Really? But when because they won't just stay in one position. They'll get up and move around, and then they'll come and sit on your face or whatever it is that cats do to get attention. Doesn't it wake you up?
No, not until she gets up in the morning. Sometimes she wakes me up about 8 o'clock because she gets up, and then she's waiting for the carers to come because they feed her. So sometimes she wakes me up then. Yeah, sometimes she'll come up the top of the bed then and start biffing me with her head. And it's like, yeah, come on, wake up.
Has she got this? Has she got a special meow that she? It's a she, right?
It is a she, and she doesn't meow very much, actually, but she purrs a lot.
The purring.
And she's very sneaky about when she comes in with birds, because you know how some cats, when they've got some sort of prey, they do that really loud yowling noise, and our other one does that, so we always know when she's got something, so the carers just leap to the cat flap and lock it, but she doesn't. She doesn't make any noise. She just comes into the cat flap, puts her head down and runs at top speed underneath my bed, because that's where she likes to chew everything up.
Sneaky.
She is really sneaky. Yeah, she is. Yeah,
I think, has she got this, because cats deploy a special meow in an emergency, like when they're hungry or you're not paying attention to them. And because cats don't meow to each other, oddly.
No, they don't. No,
and they don't purr to each other either, as far as I'm aware. That's just a thing that they bring out for us. But a cat has the ordinary meow is meow. It's like, where's my food?
Yeah.
Or meow. Have you seen? Stop looking at that newspaper. Have you seen me? That kind of thing. Yeah. But then they've got one that sounds like a baby, and I don't know whether they just happened upon it by accident, but they know that if any other meow is ignored, they've always got the mega weapon of the that kind of thing, which sounds like
you just made her wake up and put her ears up then when you did that. Right. That was a very good impression. She's looking now. She's looking alarmed. She's like, she's looking around like, who the hell's this in my house?
Yeah.
She just heard you do that.
Well, if ever she's bad, Annie, I want you to give me a ring straight away, and I'll do that again. Yeah.
Yes. You're welcome to disturb her beauty sleep now. The other thing to keep warm is a camel hair quilt. I think I've said this before, duvet.
A camel hair quilt?
Hair duvet, yes.
That sounds very expensive.
Duvet. Yeah, they are. They are quite expensive, but I've had mine for years, and it's
You don't mean one that's camel hair on the outside? You mean one that's stuffed with camel hair?
With camel hair. It's the camel's belly soft hair.
Right.
So it's a bit like alpaca, because I think you can get alpaca duvets as well, although I've never had one. But I've had this one for years and years, and it's never too... I'm never too cold in the winter, and I'm never too hot in the summer. It's really weird. Unless it's like a heat wave, and then I do sometimes have to just sleep under a sheet. But in normal weather, before climate change weather, you don't need to have two. It's cheap, because often you have to buy two, a winter one and a summer one, but you don't with this. So even though it is quite expensive.
But is it, what's it made for, though? Is it specifically for people who are allergic to... feathers?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just one of these kind of alternatives.
Right.
It's a company. It's a very green company that I buy things off, and they have wool duvets, organic wool ones. But I have wool pillows, which they're fine for a while, but then they go really lumpy, and you have to get in there and tease all the wool out.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have a wool duvet either, but a camel hair one, definitely recommend it, and it's really, really warm.
Right. OK, well, this is all very, very good advice. But I maintain that a heated throw is the best thing for warmth. It really is. Because while what you've just described keeps the heat in, what I'm talking about is something that creates the heat.
Yes, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And heating the room is less efficient than putting the heat right on you. It's just, it's my favourite thing.
But you do want a bit of both, don't you? Because if the room gets too cold, then it's not good for your chest, or
no, that's right.
The humidity gets, you get damp.
No, you don't want that. Yeah.
No.
All right, excellent work. Thanks a lot, Annie. Cheers, my dear. 0345 6060 973. Alan in Reigate says, "Hi, Nick. Skier and Superwoman Reeves can save the UK by being radical and progressive, using their huge majority to change the game for all in the UK. All they need to do is bring in a financial transaction tax of 0.1% of the £3 quadrillion worth of financial transactions every year in the UK system. That would raise £3 trillion and make the UK secure and also the best place to invest in the world. And if you even suggested such a thing, the howls from the financial community could be heard from here into the International Space Station. They couldn't even contemplate a tax of 0.1% of the financial finagling racket that they take part in. And they'll say, right, that's it, we're leaving, and they'll all go to New York. This is the problem with the human race, is that we keep giving these people who are attacking us the weaponry to do it. We're so stupid. I mean, we really are. For one country of people, and it's not the people, of course, it's the vanishingly few numbers of people at the very, very top who are benefiting from this. One country will play off against another country and say, "Wow, come over here and we'll charge you less tax." And then another country will say, "Wow, come over here and we'll charge you even less." And then you go right down to zero, and then suddenly the only people who are paying tax are the ones that can't afford it. And you've got people that are billionaires. And the wealth of I think the sixth richest people in the world increased by more than all of the other people on Earth put together since COVID. I think that's right. You might want to check that, but I read it just recently because I was putting the book together, and this happened last year. And I think it's correct that the wealth of the six richest people in the world, who already have more money than they could possibly know what to do with, their wealth increased by more than the wealth of everybody else on the planet put together. But, apart from that, it's a great system and it's working really well.
Nick Abbot on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
I just want to tell you all how happy I am to be back in the studio, making a picture again.
I think you've said that before. Sid texts, "Have you ever hugged a tree?" I've shaken one by the hand. Will says, "Unlawful means a wealthy person has done something wrong. Illegal means a non-wealthy person has done something wrong." Yeah. Avoiding tax and evading tax. See above. Exactly. Let's see now. Hampstead, Jason.
Hi, Nick.
Jason.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. Nick, you're wrong about the Lexus crowd, the lefties.
Wrong about the what?
Lexus, because they don't.
It's a very bad line, Jason. Can we call you back?
Sure.
We'll call you right back. We're going to call Jason right back. Any moment now, we'll be re-speaking to Jason. Simon of Windsor says, "For all these whingers complaining about how cold it is, well, I was watching a video about a European Space Agency craft that landed on one of Saturn's moons called Titan, where the temperature is minus 290 degrees Fahrenheit. Blimey. Minus 290 degrees Fahrenheit. I think a heated throw probably wouldn't work. You'd need something stronger. Try one of Annie's camel things. Di says, snooker hero has withdrawn from Sunday's tournament with his elbow injury, maybe, proving you wrong again. Snooker causes injuries, so it must be a sport, mate. He injured his elbow playing snooker. How did he do that? Bang it into the wall? When he was trying a trick shot? Sim says, hi Nick, did you hear that Trump was going to pardon all the MAGA supporters that stormed the Capitol? They interviewed one of their partners on Sky News who was campaigning for this. At the end of the interview, she shouted, free Tommy Robinson. She looked crazy. Well, the two might not be connected. I've got no idea. But, yeah, crazy sounds about right. Still trying to get hold of Jason in Hampstead. Hampstead apparently doesn't have phone reception. Absolutely nothing works in this country. Why is that? Any ideas?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Any ideas at all?
I'm genuinely unclear.
No, we don't know. It couldn't have been 14 years of you-know-who. Must be something else. Probably Megan's fault. Thanks a lot, Megan. No! Can't get a phone call round here. All right, let's try again. Hampstead. Hello, Jason.
Hi again, Nick. Hi, how are
better.
you?
Good, thanks.
Better line?
Yes.
Well, I've walked across the road into the park.
And there you go, disappearing again. Yes?
You know the...
Yeah, I tell you what, Jason, if you can get to civilization, as soon as you can get away from Hampstead, then give us a call straight away, all right? Cannot hear a word you're saying. It's just too annoying. I will take a phone call from somebody on the other side of the planet, and they'll be talking to me on a mobile phone, and it will sound clear as a bell. Like they're talking to me from next door. Hampstead is just a couple of miles up the road. Cannot hear a word. I mean, it's just incredible how bad things are here. This text says, these boots were made for walking was written by Lee Westwood for Nancy Sinatra. Fact-checking you from Canada. Right, well, that's very annoying. I know you are, but what am I? It is, because I looked it up, and then I just saw, these boots are made for walking, song by Nancy Sinatra, but it's not a song by her. The recording may be by her, but the song is not by her. These boots are made for walking was a song written by Lee Hazelwood and recorded by Nancy Sinatra. Lee Hazelwood also wrote other songs. I hope you're writing this stuff down, kids, because this is important. Oldbury. Hello, Ranjit.
You're right.
Yes, Ranjit.
Yeah. You know, this letter of intent that Liz Truss sent to Keir Starmer.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching a news program last night, and it says, she sent this letter, a solicitor's letter, and Sir Keir being, the former head of the CPS, it's just ignored the letter.
Yes.
That's how much it was worth.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And, I want to get, and talking about letters, do you think that, this love triangle between Tommy Robinson and Elon Musk and Nigel Farage, Donny might be able to sort it out, right? Because
it doesn't seem like a love triangle to me. It seems like enmity has broken at least one side of that triangle.
Yeah, because basically, I reckon, Uncle Nigel says to Donny, dear Donny, my newfound love has left me for another man who's in... Oh, that's where they're stuck. But, what would have happened if Donald Trump had won the last election?
What do you
instead
mean?
of Biden? Like now, he would have been at the end of his second term.
No, well,
right?
yeah, and the start of his third.
Well, no, because he's had, he's had 4 years, to pick out his enemies, and basically, everybody who was right-thinking thought he would never win again.
Yeah.
But he has. So he's going to come back twice as worse, isn't he?
Yes, I'm sure he will. But he's still the same person. He's still the same screw-up. He's still the same abysmal businessman. He can't plan. He doesn't bring people with him. People don't actually like him. There's nothing positive you can say about the man. He hasn't changed in any way. The only thing that has happened to him is he's got slower and older and more unpleasant.
No, I agree with what you're saying, yeah. But is he going to be worse this time, or would he have been worse the last time? That's the question.
We'll find out, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah, and the other thing, Nick, you know, like when I was a lad, right, you know, even up to 20 years ago, all the richest people were in the Middle East, yeah, and the Sultan of Brunei and that.
Yeah.
And how come, right, in the last, say, 15 years, the top 3 or 4 people who are the richest are in America, like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Bezos, all of them.
Well, they've ridden the second industrial revolution. They were the ones that happened to be first, just by sheer dumb luck in most cases.
Yeah, but then, so now, I mean, and the other thing, like what Donald Trump's saying now, he ain't going to build that wall in Mexico because he says he's going to take it over and he's going to say, well, basically, I don't need to build that wall anymore because Mexico's part of America, isn't it? And then he you know, in one foul swoop, right, he solved the immigration problem. He won't be able, he don't need to, you know, throw out 20 million people because they're going to be US citizens.
Yeah, I have a theory about this, and that is that all of this stuff is to make his toothless cult fans happy that he's being belligerent and angry and aggressive, then thinking it's on their behalf. I want to take over Panama. I'm going to take over Canada. I'm going to take over Greenland. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. It's just cover for the fact that he is not going to do anything that he promised, specifically bring down the price of food, which is why those people voted for him, because they got upset at the bill that they got in their weekly grocery shop. He's not going to do that. He's already admitted that he isn't going to bring down prices, that it's more difficult than he said that it was. So he started to disappoint them. He hasn't even started the job yet.
No, you're right. I totally agree with you. And Elon Musk is going to import a lot of technicians from India anyway.
Yeah, right.
So there goes his immigration policy, but he's going to make America great again. That's what he says.
All these geniuses are fighting in amongst themselves because none of them, I mean, none of the billionaires in Trump's team, none of their interests coincide with any other Americans. Your ordinary, average American does not, they're not even on the same planet, they don't coincide. But they don't even among the billionaires, they want different things. So it's just going to be a clown show. It's going to be even louder than last time.
But do you think that, like a few years ago when George Bush says he was I think it was something like either you're with them or you're with us, yeah? I think when Elon Musk...
What was that in reference to?
It was with ISIS and all that kind of stuff, yeah, George Bush, yeah?
George W.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, right, that Kenny Beginock, whatever, and I call it Enoch, yeah. Okay. She should have turned around and said to Elon Musk, yeah, listen, I'm the member of the opposition. You threaten any of our MPs, yeah, to Elon Musk, you're threatening all of us. And, when we have a war footing, yeah.
But what's that got to do with Kenny Badenoch?
Yeah, but she's a leader of the opposition, right? And now she should be sticking by Keir Starmer when an external power like Elon Musk is attacking us.
Okay, well that's absolutely not going to happen because now we're in the playground. These people are children. I mean, there doesn't seem to be a serious bone in her body. I mean, I know she comes across all airy and superior, but that doesn't seem to be what I'm looking at whenever she speaks, and she's not going to do anything in order to help the Labour Party in any way, even if it I think what we got here is what they got in America. One side, the Republicans, will not help the Democrats at all, even if it would be a benefit to the country.
On your radio, on Global Player.
Just talked all over the jingle.
LBC.
Very
Leading
unprofessional.
Britain's conversation.
I'm still doing
this
it.
Is LBC. This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Yeah! Dude! Oh, hello there. Very nice to meet you.
Kevin in Texas says, Nick, I cannot believe that Nigel Farage said he and Elon are still friends after what Elon Musk said about him. What would Nigel be saying now if it was someone from the European Union said that Nigel would not fit to run reform? Yeah, nothing good, I bet. Poor Nigel. Somebody had dangled all that cash, the prospect of all of that money in front of him. I mean, he runs a company, and if you ran a company and somebody said, I'm going to give you $100 million, do with it what you wish, I mean, your eyes would light up, wouldn't they? And then they just take it away again? Oh, poor Nigel. I bet he doesn't get a very good seat for the inauguration either. Maybe he won't get a seat at all. Gets left off the list. Sorry, Nigel, your name's not on the list. You're not getting in. You can stand with the dribbling morons on the crowd down there. Will says, at least we have the Trump-Musk bust-up to look forward to. Yeah, well, it's happened already. Well, not quite happened already, but you've got the inkling that it is. I mean, Trump's already said of Musk, I can't get rid of him from his Mar-a-Lago bolt hole. Yeah, that ain't going to last. I mean, it would last more than ordinarily because, Elon Musk has got what Donald Trump wants. Money, honey. But, he's taking a little too much spotlight off the tangerine tornado, is Elon Musk. A little bit too much. Elon Musk posted a number of inflammatory messages on his X social media site claiming that the Prime Minister should be in prison and asked whether America should liberate Britain from its tyrannical government. He does seem to be having an emotional moment, doesn't he? Hey, Elon.
I'm taking you off the air. I think you're having a breakdown.
Yeah, I think you're having a breakdown. You might want to have that looked into very strongly. Let's have Bodmin, Malcolm.
Oh, Nick, hello, yes. Let me just mute my digital TV channel and my DAB.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Nick, go on.
What?
You were saying?
I was saying what?
Oh, Nick, look, let me help you out here, right?
Please, I need your help.
It's a hard listen, my friend, right? Annie in wherever Annie's from, what was she talking about? It was a form of fabric. Something hair.
Camel hair.
Camel hair, right.
Camel. No, that's not a camel. That's a camel. There, that's a camel.
I had a brother-in-law, and he was obviously Welsh, and he was a hill farmer.
Why is he obviously Welsh? That is racist, Malcolm.
Because when I knew him, I lived in Wales, and he married my sister,
right,
who lived in the same house as me in Wales.
Well,
right?
yeah, that implies that
enough about that one, right?
You're implying some sort of inbreeding going on there.
But anyway, look, no.
That's what it sounded like to me. I am offended on their behalf.
You're going to get yourself into trouble in a minute, sir. But look, my brother-in-law, who was a hill farmer, bought a suit for my other sister's wedding, and it was a mohair suit.
Yeah.
And we asked him, why did you buy a mohair suit for the wedding? And he said, because it's got mohair. So that's anyway, look, enough on that.
That was, I guess you had to be there. I'm really glad that I wasn't there.
You have to understand Wales and the hill farming and suits and fabrics. Right. And Annie will understand that.
Yeah,
Nick,
sure. Probably not laughing,
Nick,
but she might understand it. Yeah, go ahead.
Nick, I'm watching images on my screen from America.
Yeah.
And it's Los Angeles, every single channel. And there's one thing that I find scaringly awful, and it's that Los Angeles is fed by the Hoover Dam. And the Hoover Dam has been deemed absolutely inadequate to feed the Los Angeles area. for 5, 10, 15 years or more.
It might be adequate. I don't know what the
the point I'm making is, Nick, right?
The water infrastructure in Los Angeles, I think, extends to more than the Hoover Dam. But I think one of the problems there is that people with massive amounts of farmland are taking the water from LA and using it on water-intensive produce like almonds.
Right. No, I didn't want to go there. The point I was making was that the Hoover Dam serves Los Angeles, but the Hoover Dam isn't serving Los Angeles, and there are 1 or 2 other reservoirs which aren't adequate, obviously. But Nick, I'm looking at it now, and when you watch the actual fires, they're showing hill after rolling hill after rolling hill.
Yeah.
But when you look at what's been burnt in Los Angeles, it is block after block after block of flat land, and literally street after street after house after house. And they're lined up like Lego blocks.
Yeah.
And every one of
like
them,
houses.
for mile after mile, they're all burnt out.
Yes.
And it is scary. And next week or the week after, Trump is coming into power. And he will say, well, look, all of this happened before my time. But he has got 4 years now where he's going to have to manage all of this. And there was last week's stories about snow and ice and all these other hazards in America like we've got here.
He's not going to manage it. He's going to drill, baby, drill. He's going to do the opposite of managing it. And on California, let me make a prediction.
Yeah, go on.
Trump will say, well, California has been very mean to me, so I'm not going to be helping them. They asked for all of these things, but they didn't vote for me, so been very mean and said nasty things. That is what he will say. I betcha.
But Nick, what we're looking at on our screens, it is dreadful, but it is literally one city on the east coast of America. And Trump is going to be looking after the whole of the United States, allegedly. Nick, bring it back to this country and
what was your point, though?
My point was, Nick, that what's happening in America, in Los Angeles, is on a small level, one city. It is just scaring the absolute life out of people all over the world.
Yeah, but it feeds into the constant refrain of climate change, which has bumped the weather from the last part of the news to the front part of the news. And they keep using words like unprecedented. And it could be flood in Spain, which shows you pictures of cars just being picked up and then just tossed down a road to land, hundreds of them, all piled up on top of each other in scenes that you couldn't imagine outside of a film. Or it's like a less photogenic drought, which doesn't really excite the eye, but will lead to something like we've got here in Los Angeles. And of course, the reason that people are obsessed with LA is because that's where our entertainment comes from. That's where the people that we know live.
But the point, Nick, the point is this, right? Trump is already blaming Biden for this.
Of course.
And this has hold on, hear me out. And this has nothing to do with Biden or America or American politics. This is global warming. And enough said on that, right? But
well, no, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it is enough said, because I think that there is an issue with the amount of water that is taken away, that is diverted from LA into the the farming land, which is farmed by a few fantastically rich people. That they use that water for water-intensive crops. For their own profit. I mean, we can get along without California almonds, for instance.
Yeah, 100%. But bring it back home, and Labour and Trump and what is about to hit us. And I started out before I called you thinking, do you know what? I don't think that things are going to be as bad as I'm not saying I'm saying as I thought they could have been.
Yeah.
Because Trump, I think, is looking at a very weakened man. And I say this from the point of view of what your clips about his hair, about him, and about everything. And if you look at him now, he doesn't have that beautiful blonde hair and gorgeousness about him. But he's got, Nick, is his look is not what he had as a look.
Yeah, I think you're misreading the entire situation. If you
No.
hang on a minute. I think you're misreading everything. Donald Trump is not interested in running America. Donald Trump is not really interested in being the president, other than it's the top job and the flattery that comes with it. Donald Trump is interested in playing golf, in probably wandering through Miss World's changing room every now and again, and being wheeled out to one of his rallies so that his supporters can pour flattery all over him. That's what Donald Trump is about. He doesn't care about the economy or about schools or about defence or any of that stuff.
Yeah, but don't be bad-mouthing golf, right? Because golf is a sport. It's one of the truest sports out there.
It's not a sport. No, it's pastime.
Oh, it is, I can assure you. But look, the point I make is this, right? I think that, and we will all see, you'll see it, your man who answers the phone will see it, the British public, and certainly the American public will see it soon, that Donald Trump, I think, is not what people voted for, because they vote on a look, a sentence, what am I struggling to think of it?
Right.
A catchphrase.
Yeah, a catchphrase. Exactly.
Well, he doesn't have it anymore.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't need it anymore. He can use the old ones. Make America. Yeah, he can make America great again. He keeps selling those hats. Everything on his website has got the MAGA phrase on it, and he can build the wall, and he can. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. It doesn't really matter what he says. He's not interested in that anymore. He just wanted the job to get the money and the flattery. And that's it. That's the end of his interest, I bet you. I mean, do you think that he's going to pore over whether schools should be following a certain curriculum or not? Couldn't care less. He'll be on the golf course, cheating, as usual. And if you can fill a stadium so that he can do his endless speeches about would you prefer to be electrocuted by a boat's battery or eaten by a shark, then that's all he wants. You can bust the people in and then forget about busting them out again. They can make their own way home. It'll come as a surprise to them at the end, but, he's not going to pay for a bus both ways. Thanks a lot, Malcolm. Got to go.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Right, so what are we doing?
Gibbon, we are doing a radio show, but it does remind me that I do a podcast with Carol McGiffin.
Yeah.
Now, it is a problem-solving podcast, and we've been so good at solving problems lately that I almost blasted through every single one of them. So we are in want of more. Now, we've just done 300 episodes. All of them are available online. Just look up What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol, and I do believe that you will find them amusing. She is a funny lady, in all senses of the word. If you want us to solve your problem, then send it to this address, nickandcarol@global.com, NICKANDCAROL @global.com, and prepare to be totally satisfied.
Oh, right, yeah.
Ask for it by name on an internet near you. What's your problem with Nick and Carol? Tavistock. Hello, Rose.
Hello, Nick.
Rose.
Well, I've got a few sort of disjointed points.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Maybe your GP should be your first port of call.
First port of call, yes. Right, that's a good start. This row with Elon, the Nige and the Elon.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all it's done is give him yet more publicity.
More publicity, yeah.
And it strikes me that when he's not in the news for a day, lo and behold, something will happen, or he will make some statement, and then he will be, every hour of the day will be about him again.
Yeah, I had that same.
Very well.
Yes, I had that same thought. But I don't think that this time around it could be chalked down to another attempt at getting publicity, because there's there's no sides to that. Nigel Farage does not have what it takes. I mean, you can't wring any positive out of that at all, and it's impossible in my mind to row back from it.
Is it? I mean, they'll make it up, and Elon will say, I didn't really mean it.
Well, either way, if he does say that, then they both look stupid, And if he doesn't say it, then Nigel Farage looks stupid for having heaped praise on him the very same day that Elon Musk whipped the rug out from underneath him.
Yes, it is. It is, as you say, it is all so childish, isn't it? And have you seen Musk's face? Have you seen his face?
It looks like a relief map of the moon. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's sort of full of psychiatric disquiet. You know, he needs treatment. There's something wrong with him.
Psychiatric disquiet. Yeah, he does seem to be going through a personal moment, yes.
Most extraordinary and sort of dead eyes. You know, your Jonathan, what's not phoned again. His last call, this marvellous phrase he came out with, it was about somebody else, that eyes devoid of empathy. Good, that, wasn't it?
He said that.
He said that about someone else. I can't remember who.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And that's what I keep seeing in these mad people.
By the way, if you want to hear his last call, then it is on the best of podcast that I do. I don't think it's the last one. I think it's the one before that. The last call of Jonathan from Harrow. Perhaps the last time we'll ever hear from him.
I hope not.
Because it's on the Nick Abbot Habit, which is the other podcast that I do. That's a half an hour.
Nick Abbot Habit.
Half an hour best of comes out on a Monday, and not the last episode, but I think the one before it, or maybe even the one before that. Can't recall. That's it. It's on there.
I shall go in the library and do it.
Yes.
You know, I went in the library and heard myself.
Did you?
And I sound about 95. I was most dischuffed. I thought, I'll see what my last calls to Nick were like.
Yeah.
You sounded absolutely gorgeous.
Oh.
I thought, bleeding heck.
Yeah, good job this is radio, though, Rose.
Well, probably. I expect you're absolutely hideous.
Thank you.
No, but, you know, you sound good on my radio, but this was another thing, computer.
It's always a shock when you see somebody on the radio that you only have heard before. When you actually see somebody, because people are chosen because of their voice. Their voice sounds nice, and so you get this mental image of what they're actually like. And then you see them in real life.
There are one or two, I won't name them, but there are one or two exceptions, actually, to that, because, I know what you mean. But anyway, there was something else I wanted to say about this ghastly, hideous, frightful business. Well, there's the adulation of the billionaires, which I think the world has gone mad about. But also, you know how you say... Well, what I'm actually going to say is that it seems very convenient that Britain has been so weakened by Brexit, largely forged by the Farage, that we are having to adopt this submissive...
the brace position.
A position with regard to Nigel's billionaire chums in America.
Yeah.
One can't help feeling he knew that this is what was going to happen when he went all hell for Brexit.
Well, it seems obvious to me, I mean, it always has done, that if you divorce yourself from the gang, because we're still in school, remember, if you leave the gang behind and there's wander around the playground on your own, friendless, then a bully is going to pick you off.
Yeah, but don't you think that was part of the plan? Because now what we seem to be looking at is threat from a sort of triumvirate. You've got the far right here, the Braddanocks and the Bravermans and the Jenricks and the Tommy Thingamy. And you've got Farage, who seems to be out on his own, and you've got the Musk and all that, you know, and they're all sort of climate change deniers. And
yes, it's classic divide and conquer.
Oh, divide our country, you mean?
Yeah, we've been divided off from Europe, and now we're desperate and dateless, and are ripe for conquering.
Yes, exactly. This is my view entirely.
Yeah.
The soil has been laid. It's also been laid for the last, I know I've said it before, for the last 15 years by that rather right-wing Tory government sort of demolishing everything. Well, so here we are, we sort of flat on our back saying, I'll lie back and think of England while you just do me over. Sorry, but I do see things rather
You have
visibly.
a beautiful way of putting things, Rose. It's
thank you.
almost like poetry.
Oh, my God, I wouldn't have thought that was poetry. I can do a bit of poetry.
Oh, no, please don't.
Boring.
Not poetry.
Well, I've been listening to a song thrush.
Oh, a song thrush.
Yeah.
Yes. What's that like?
Well, it's a song thrush. He doesn't really do tunes exactly like the blackbird does, but the blackbird won't be beginning for a while yet. But they do sing.
The blackbird doesn't really do tunes, though. It's more like
let's have this again.
It's a random noise generator.
No, that's the thrush. That's the point. That's the song thrush.
Is it?
Yes. Yes.
But it's called a song thrush, wouldn't it?
I know.
Isn't it called a song thrush because it has a song?
Well, I know. I find that rather strange.
But a blackbird will just come out with all sorts of weird things, like it's a robot, like Bleep and Booster.
Oh no, that's a song thrush. You haven't been listening to the blackbird, darling. Honestly, I absolutely promise you. And they will have one little theme which they'll repeat. You know, they'll be singing at the top of a tree, and this theme will keep coming out. I always remember one. It was da 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 dum. It was.
I think I mentioned this on the air. Maybe I was talking to Carol about it. But there's a bird round my way now, and I think it's either a crow or I don't really know. It's too early in the morning to find out. But it's decided to imitate the bin men's lorry as it reverses. Wah 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 wah, like
God.
that. Oh,
You sure it's not the bin men's lorry?
no, because it happens on other days too.
As well.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder what that is. Yes.
Very annoying.
But this song thrush, the wonderful thing is the way they sing at dusk.
Oh,
particularly.
That's a blackbird.
Well, they do as well. I was just going to say that. But even when it's really quite dark sometimes, and the thing about it is, in the winter, when it's quite... My mother's funeral, when we were burying her in the ground, this is years ago now, this song thrush sang throughout, and it was really dismal looking and dusk, and obviously that time of year it was December the 1st. Blackbirds don't sing.
Right.
But I leant upon I'm going to annoy you now. I leant upon a coppice gate. That's how Thomas Hardy starts. You're right in there. You know where you are.
Yes.
And that is the darkling thrush. And I bet you will cry when you read the last verse, but in a good way. But of course you won't read it.
But I can cry anyway.
Yeah, you can cry if you like.
Right.
But it's just stunning. It's just stunning. I recommend to all.
Well, I'm the kind of person that will burst into tears if they play sad music on a coffee commercial, so...
Oh,
I'm
gosh,
there already.
you're like me again in that. Yeah. Oh, my God.
We're practically cosmic twins, Rose.
I know, I keep picking up psychic things, but we better not go there.
No, don't go there. All right, thanks for that. Cheers, my dear. Ta-da, 0345 6060 973. Simon says there is no point complaining about Elon Musk, who has launched 60 satellites into space to provide worldwide internet, until you have achieved the same. What? Once your 60 satellites are in space and you can't get any customers, then and only then can we continue this conversation, says Simon. You're an idiot, Simon. I mean that in a helpful way. You can't complain or criticise anyone at all unless you have done exactly the same thing that they have. So that would be all critics out of work then. All of them. And it would be you out of work, Simon. Because you can only complain about my complaining when you get your own radio show. So, no. What time's your show on, Simon? Chris in Nottingham says, I think we should deploy Gavin Williamson to tell Elon Space Karen Musk to shut up and go away. Brackets, yes, I have written this purely to try to get you to do your impression. Thanks in advance, says Chris. I'm being played like a puppet here. And Justine texts, Thunderbird's character was Marina and she was a mermaid. Well, there's no evidence that that's true. But along entertainment lines, here's good news. Well, kind of. It's good news and bad news. Good news first. Caroline in Knutsford says, "Hey, Nick, get excited. Mission Impossible, the final reckoning is coming." That's the good news. Bad news, the 21st of May. That's like months away. It better be good, though. And it better not have half an hour in the middle of it where they just talk about what they've been doing and what they're going to do. Look, we get it. It's not that complicated. Just get on with it. That ruined that film for me. I mean, if I see it again, I know just to fast forward through that half an hour. They just sit and talking and talking and talking. For crying out loud, Tom, throw yourself out of a building. I don't know what they're going to do to top the stunt that was in the first one, though. I mean, how could you do that? How could you top that? Spoiler alert.
Warning, warning.
He drove a bike off a mountain. In real life. 0345 6060. Nice. And actually, if they've actually finally got the filming done, maybe he will leave London alone. I mean, you know, we're all entertained and all, Tom Cruise, but could you stop taking over London? It's like every time I walk out this building, I can't go here and I can't go there, and you've got people with clipboards around, and everyone's got a cup of coffee, and there's hundreds of people who blocked off roads, and you can't come up that road, and you can't go down this road, and the whole thing is lit up like, it's in the middle of the night, it's lit up like daytime. Those lights are so bright, but I suppose they're recreating the sun in order to make it look like it's the middle of the day when actually it's 2 o'clock in the morning. But thank you, Tom. You have not exactly delighted us enough, but you've upended London life sufficiently. Just get on with it. Pretty please with sugar on top.
Nick Abbot on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
And remember, darling, I don't work before 10 in the morning and never after 4:30 in the afternoon.
Never after 4:30 in the afternoon. Like a plasterer. This says, Nick, I think I missed something. Who did Jonathan from Harrow turn out to be? I miss his calls. Well, no one famous, if that's what you mean. Will in, I don't know where. Wherever he is, he texts the following. Elon Musk could use Farage's living room as a toilet, and Nigel would still worship the ground that Musk walked on and never say a bad word about him. I've cleaned that text up a bit. Bath. Hello, John.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
I was just going to say, I think blackbirds do actually have a lovely tune, hence why Paul McCartney used them as a metaphor in Blackbird.
Blackbird singing in the meadow of night.
That's it. I've whistled to blackbirds in my garden. They do kind of answer you.
No, I don't think that that's correct. A blackbird is like a random noise generator. It just does all sorts of things that don't constitute a tune, and they never do the same thing twice.
I don't know. I can do a bit of a Roger Whittaker whistle sometimes. And
no
they
thanks.
I'm not going to do it. They bounce back. But anyway, maybe I've got it wrong. Maybe it's what the lady was talking about. What did she call it? A thrush? Maybe uncomfortable, whatever it was.
Yes.
I was going to say to you, first of all, do you know you were talking about the LA fires and the water being subverted and moved elsewhere? I mean, that's more or less the plot of Chinatown, isn't it?
And Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, and this is the thing. So it's not surprising that someone's done a bit of jiggery pokery,
right,
and kind of sent it off somewhere. It doesn't make sense that they would run out of water.
It's also the kind of the plot of that James Bond film that wasn't particularly good, that ended up in I think that place in Chile that blew up at the end.
Yes, indeed.
I can't remember the name of it. One of the not particularly good ones.
You know, it's a bit like the Mission Impossible you just mentioned, the one with the long dialogue explanation.
Oh, it just went on and on and on. I mean, every now and again, I do appreciate a recap, like who's doing what to whom.
But not to that extent.
It just went on way too long. They just kept repeating the same thing over and over again.
But if he's going to take some time to do his next movie, you've got to give him a bit of kind of room, because his house is probably burnt down.
Yeah, I don't know where he... Yeah, I mean...
I think he's got a place there.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, I mean...
I wonder if Fish's place
Well, this is the thing, you see. It would be quite... No, I'm not going to... Listen, Schadenfreude, I better leave it alone. Yeah. But anyway, so there's that. And the other thing I wanted to say to you is, do you know that... God, I can't say the way your last guest... She calls him Farage. How does she call Farage? It's almost like a kind of an illness.
Farage?
Farage, like garage.
Like garage, yeah.
Yeah.
Not Farage, like garage, so that really doesn't work, does it? No. Go on.
In fact, we have to say these names, Farage and Musk. I mean, this is like this beggars belief. But anyway, what worries me, in the same way that when we were told that Brexit was a bad idea, which what it was, that the electorate in this country just said, no, you can't tell me not to stick a stick in my eye. I'm going to do it.
That's right.
And that's what kind of worries me about him saying that Nigel Farage should not be the leader of that thing, because he could backfire. And people just go, well, you can't tell us who we're going to vote for, blah, blah, blah. And then they kind of come headlong in to self-slaughter themselves. Right. And that kind of... Unless it's...
Well, I think that the right wing are having a bit of a problem there, though, because they want to... They revere both people. I mean, they love Elon Musk because, he's supposed to be this free speech absolutist, but only appears to be interested in free speech that he agrees with, one of those people. And he says that all the things that they can't say because they haven't got a wall of money to hide behind.
I mean, let's face it, the best place for him is space.
Yes. Yeah, where no one can hear you scream.
And this is exactly, I could actually see him being up there and I wouldn't miss a single tweet.
No.
So it is possible that people are going to just double down and say, well, he can't tell us. You remember when Barack Obama said you don't want to be at the end of the queue at the Brexit?
Yeah, but they hated Barack Obama. They love Elon Musk.
Yeah, but the thing is that, well, this is the thing, but the thing is the electorate here just thought, you can't tell me not to vote for that. And it's just like, it just goes against common sense. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, there is no common sense. Yeah. There's nothing common about it. We understand that very well.
But in terms of, I haven't actually found out, I'm not to draw an issue out of it, but, this John character, what are they accusing you of doing to him?
I was going through old shows.
Yeah.
And for the best of podcast that I do. And so I'm at the moment going through 2020 and 2021 and just pulling out funny bits and putting them as a half-hour best of.
Oh, yeah.
And I came across this person and I thought, gosh, that sounds really alike.
And
so
the intonation.
Yeah. And so the last time he called, I said, have you ever met... And I can't remember what the name is now.
Yeah.
And there was a long period of silence.
Oh, no. I missed that one.
And that was the last time I ever heard from him.
Do you know, the thing is, it was a bit like... Do you remember you spoke to the guy recently that rang up during your countdown of the New Year thing? And he said that he denied that he was the man who said that he got kicked in the head by a horse.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you were bang on there as well.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I think, his voice, I've got like a kind of an ear that can... like yourself, you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I thought it was something really severe there where they said you outed him.
No.
Okay.
Nothing like that.
All right, well, take care.
Okay.
It's a pleasure talking to you again.
All right, thanks a lot, John. 0345 6060 973. Joseph in North London says, your summary of the American South was a bit crass. Only a bit? I was going for maximum crass. It says, my girlfriend is from Alabama, lives there, but has lived in San Francisco and elsewhere. She has a master's and votes Democrat. Her best friend, also in Alabama, is a highly intelligent lawyer and votes Republican. Well, thanks for the news, Joseph. That's great. Good to know. I'm going to write that down. Only a bit crass, though. I'm kind of disappointed there. This text says, not sure if it's satire, but I'm sure that I heard earlier that Johnny will be changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Gas on a boat. What does that mean? That was Johnny, character in Viz magazine, which I've never heard him called before. But now I won't be able to think of him in any other way. Alan says, I bought some carpets in 1997. There is a tea stain 28 years on. Can I still claim? It's worth a go, Alan. Rip that carpet up and haul it down to the place that you bought it. Say that you're very angry. You wish to speak to the manager. That'll probably work. Heston. Hello, Isaac.
Good morning, Nick.
Isaac.
Two things. Right. The first thing is the puppet character, okay, is Marina. She was not in Thunderbirds. She was in Stingray.
Stingray.
Okay. Stingray. Now,
Yeah.
I should know because that's what I grew up with, you know.
Yeah,
Stingray,
well, me too.
Thunderbirds,
Captain Scarlet.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And right at the end, the song was Marina.
Yes.
Da-da Marina, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay, right, so.
Yes.
And the second thing is, right, I'm quite enjoying how the right wing here in the UK is in disarray. You know,
Yes.
I'm quite enjoying it. I've started listening to the news again. Yeah, I'm serious.
See what the latest episode has brought.
Absolutely. I mean, this is my soap opera. You know.
Yeah.
Kenny Badenoch, okay, has fallen out with Nigel Farage.
Mm-hmm.
Nigel Farage seems to have fallen out with Elon Musk. Has Elon Musk fallen out with Kenny Badenoch, or is that due to come? You know.
Yeah, probably forthcoming attractions. This is beginning to sound like the beginning to an old American comedy show called Soap. Do you remember that?
Oh no, not quite. No,
It was.
I think so. Yeah.
It was a. I think. Damn. A very, very famous comedian who is still like right at the top of his tree. He was one of the characters. Anyway,
Yeah.
it was sort of a pastiche of Dallas and things like that. And it did a sort of catch up at the beginning, and it's exactly like what you just said. And Dave has fallen out with Maria, and Maria has found that she's got a love child with her adopted father, and it just goes on like that. And that's pretty much what we've got. We've got a soap, the world's most expensive soap.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just laughing my head off. It's something I heard for the first time. You mentioned it. Jeremy Hunt sort of said, over the New Year, he had a deep reflection on where the Conservatives went wrong.
Yeah, they're reflecting.
Exactly.
Comical.
That is my favourite. That's my favourite radio jingle of yours. The guy that goes, I always make sure I listen out for that.
I'm going to be playing it frequently from now on. I expect.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Oh, one final quick thing.
And finally,
I was watching on my favourite social media, which is YouTube.
Oh yes.
Okay. And it was Politics Joe. Yes. Oh, I love Politics Joe. People like that. You, Politics Joe, James O'Brien. Marina Purkis. Oh, love Marina Purkis. Yeah. Anyway, on Politics Joe, I saw they were interviewing the British public. Should Elon Musk be intervening, interfering.
Oh, it wasn't one of those like trick questions where can you point to England on a map? Not one of them.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No. And one guy said, on YouTube, I laugh when I heard that. He says Elon Musk should go back to South Africa and take his money with him and spend it there. I thought, oh no.
Well, the stuff that you could get in South Africa for the kind of money that he's got, you could buy South Africa for the kind of money that he's got. I bet you actually could.
Well, to be honest with you, he could, with the billions he's got, he could turn South Africa and the surrounding states into a major economic power.
Exactly.
You know,
he could do good with it, but he's decided to do whatever the hell this is with it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, give the money to South Africa and the surrounding states. You know. Not the USA and not here in the UK because he's not going to do any good here. So.
No, I wouldn't imagine so. No. All right. Thanks a lot, Isaac. 0345 6060 973. Yeah, the stuff that you could buy in South Africa with the kind of money that he's got, you can feel like you are one of them, one of the swells in South Africa. There's a good long while since I was there. And this doesn't necessarily apply to hotel rooms, which tend to have a sort of an international price structure. You know, they're the same everywhere. But food, good grief. I mean, I went to the most expensive restaurant I could find, and Gary Lineker came in with Alan Hansen and I think... some other people. I didn't think that there was a football tournament there, but perhaps there was. Anyway, they all came in and went to their own special table. But you order the most expensive thing on the menu, which will be the mixed fish grill, which comes with lobsters and prawns and langoustines and salmon, and you know, you think of it, it's there on this massive platter. And you order the most expensive bottle of wine they've got, and it's 30 quid a head. They're giving it away over there. So I imagine that Elon Musk's fortune would stretch to a couple of dinners. Think about it, Elon. You have delighted us enough.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Come on, we're running late.
We are running late. Rochester. Lulu.
Oh, Nick, hello, darling.
Lulu.
Hello. Nick,
Lulu. Are we on speakerphone?
I've got earplugs in.
Right.
Okay, let me detract from my earplugs. Does that help you?
Please detract from your earplugs. We're uncoupling as we speak.
We are uncoupling as we speak. I've got 2 words to say to you.
Couple of words.
Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal is the right answer. Yes, thank you. That would have annoyed me for ages.
Thank you, caller.
Yes, thank you, caller.
Yes. Nick, I'm a bit distressed because last time I spoke to you, it was in November. I'd just come back from India. I was zenned up to the max. I'd come off Twitter. I was avoiding all news, and I was calm.
You were zenned up, as in
zenned up
calm.
To the max.
Yes.
Yes.
Wasn't India a bit manic? I mean, I don't really know anything about India other than it seems like a bit manic.
Yeah, Mumbai was a crazy town, very, very full on. But then we went to Goa, and it was just
Goa.
It was beautiful. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
And
were you on a yoga retreat by any chance?
Yeah, if I got up early enough, I would have been. But you know, I was out that night before drinking and carousing.
Right. Okay.
But and you know, I wanted to avoid the Trump hideous cavalcade of horror.
Awfulness.
And because I listen to you and because I listen to James O'Brien, I am privy to certain information, and now I'm very stressed. I can't stop listening to you, obviously, because you keep me going.
I can't imagine that you get any information from me, Lulu. All of the information must come from James O'Brien. Nothing to do with me.
Yeah, but you talk about what these individuals are up to,
right.
Nick, just as a side issue, I'm looking out my window to get a better signal, and I've got lovely ice crystals on my windowsill. It's very beautiful.
Now, does that mean that you have a problem with insulation?
No. I mean, it's toasty and warm inside, but I've opened the window just to get a better signal because, my provider is useless. And it's just really a winter wonderland out there.
Wow.
It's going to be very cold tonight.
It's going to be very, very cold tonight. Yeah, let me just
Very
I'll
cold.
check on that while you
While
wait.
you wait.
One moment, please.
Are you going to do the girl from Ipanema?
-3.
Ooh.
Blimey.
See, down in beautiful downtown Medway, we've got -5 tonight.
Have you?
Because we're out in the suburbs, aren't we?
Yes. Well, this is Leicester Square. God.
Oh.
-3 in Leicester Square with all the thrumming activity that we got going on around these parts.
Electricity and shizzle, yeah, absolutely. So think on. Oh, and so anyway, I'm trying to get through this, Nick, but I'm very worried about the future of the world with, these maniacs in charge now.
Yeah. I think the world will be just fine, Lulu. It's our place on the world that's at risk.
Yeah, we're done for, aren't we?
I think we are, eventually, one way or another.
And kiss your A goodbye.
Thank you.
Nick, can I just ask a little question? I heard you speak, I think it was just after Christmas maybe, and you said that Jonathan had been rumbled, and I tried to retrieve the episode where he was rumbled, and I couldn't quite understand what happened. So have you found out who he really is?
It's not anybody famous. You won't know who it is any more than I do. But that last call is on the best of, not necessarily last week, but maybe the week before. And the best of podcast is called the Nick Abbot Habit. So it's on. It's the last call on either last Monday's or the Monday before, or maybe even the Monday before that. But it's definitely on there, maybe in the last 3.
Yeah, but, how did you rumble him?
Because, as I said a little while ago, I was making that podcast, and on a previous year, I just happened upon somebody who sounded just like him, and I thought, that's got to be it. Right.
Oh, really? Is this kosher? I mean, is this real? Because, or is it just this...
Is it real life, or are you hallucinating?
Hallucinating.
I can't tell, Lulu. I just don't know. You're going to have to decide that for yourself. But I wish you the very best. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
In the realm where dreams arise, dandelions kiss the skies. In poems and tales they fly free, the symbols of boundless liberty. Dandelions whisper in the breeze, a journey beyond with effortless ease.
my dear. 0345 6060 973. Chesham, Mark.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
Great. The place that you're talking about is just down from Cape Town.
It was in
and you go there,
Cape Town.
Yeah, it's sort of a shed.
No.
Which serves no, come on, it's got to be the same place. It's not really a shed. It's a bit more, let's say,
no. This was
salubrious.
This was a big, white, modern, very modern, huge, cavernous restaurant with a terrace on the outside. No, it was no.
Oh, that's in Cape Town.
It was no shed. It was in Camps Bay.
Camps Bay. Okay, not Foxy Bay with the penguins in.
I don't know Foxy Bay. It sounds like a strip club.
No, it's not. Trust me. It just has penguins.
Okay.
If you want a bird, it's just a penguin.
Right. Okay.
But no, the best place to go if you're ever down there. I used to live in South Africa.
Oh yeah.
Is there's a thing called the Utenika Choo Choo, which I think is sort of a parody on the what's it called? The
Chattanooga Choo Choo. Right.
Yeah, so you get this choo-choo and it takes you down to a bay where they grow oysters. Oh, my God.
Really?
You think you've died and gone to heaven.
They have a restaurant has its own train.
Yeah, no. The place is called, I can't remember, it was many years ago, but it was called the Utenika Choo Choo.
Right.
It would take you to Utenika Bay,
so
where they grow oysters.
Right. So it's a train. Called the Utenika Choo Choo.
The Utenika Choo Choo.
The Choo Choo, right. It's a marvellous place, and I would, I'd like to go back, except that I feel that I've sort of seen it, you know?
You can never see South Africa. You can live 2 lifetimes and still not see it all.
I think one of the most, one of the sites that impressed upon me the most, and I'm finding it, I found it quite difficult to get this image out of my head, was at Cape Horn, people park their cars and then go down to walk to, the end of the continent.
It's the end, yeah. You stand on the end with
That's
a lighthouse
right. And
on the end, the white one.
It's a magnificent sight. And then when you come back, a baboon has left a present on your car the size of a small dog. It was awful.
Gross.
Why do they do that?
Yeah,
they must know what they're doing.
You walk down that hill, and it's like 2 million steps. It's probably about 50, but it feels like 2 million.
And
you get down, and it's where I think it's where the Pacific
and they meet,
or the Atlantic meets the Indian. And it's very stormy, but been there.
And then you come back and a baboon has met the top of your car and you don't quite know what to do with it, and there aren't that many tissues in the world. Mark, gotta go. Thanks for that. 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 Gotta go. Thanks for that.